Welcome. Thanks for stopping in, tuning in. We're going to be talking about tap water today and a website you might want to save in your bookmarks called ewg.org. And this is pretty amazing. When we talk tap water, we think, at least I did. I'm going to give my viewpoint because I don't want to say everybody thinks this, but we think tap water is horrible, which it can be definitely. However, bottled water is not even regulated at all, whereas tap water is regulated. Ooh, the sun's in my eyes. Well, we're not talking bottled water this evening. We could go on and on and on forever, but we're going to talk about tap water and a database that will help you in knowing more about what's in your tap. What is going on? So I'm going to actually share my screen. However I do this. Sometimes it's like, what am I doing now? Can you see me, Miss Amanda? Oh, and Amanda. Amanda's here with us. Oh my gosh. I love you.
Love you too. We're just cruising right along here.
We are. She is such a big help, and I love all the knowledge that she has to contribute to this as well. My goodness. Um, this is actually the database, and it's the environmental protection database that kind of keeps us posted on what's in our local municipalities. Is it up to date? No, not in all areas. But it does give you, like, I think for ours, it's like 2021 was the last update that they put in here. Um, our municipalities are required to update their systems, but they don't do that all the time. So this is where Amanda and I love the water. We love what water does. Water holds memory. Water carries all of our toxins through our body. But if they're loaded with toxins, it's hard to detox your body when you have toxins going in. So, and I don't think a lot of people realize what some of these toxins actually do. So, how this works, it'll talk about like water contamination, water filter guide, consumer resources. We're just going to look at the database today. And if any, oh, go ahead.
First, what kind of toxins do you think are in your water? Are you aware of any of the toxins? Like, what do you consider an actual toxin? Like, just
Mhm.
real quick, like let's see what you can come up with.
You know,
Like,
I
what do you?
spoke I spoke with, I'm sorry, I spoke with a lady the other day and she said, well, I said, what is your biggest concern about your water? And she goes, well, I just know of all the toxins. And I was like, okay, you mean like the pharmaceuticals, like the plastics, the and she goes, what? What do you mean pharmaceuticals? I was like, oh, okay. That was a big rabbit hole. But I mean, our bodies, when we take our medications, our bodies only utilize 30% of that medication, and everything is eliminated and back into the system, excuse me. And since we don't have there is no new water, it's all recycled. So it's all going back into the systems. What toxins are you thinking of? I love this. Yeah, you. Amanda's like, what? Sorry, I got the sun in my eyes.
Well, recently I have came to know, well, I think it was, I'm not fair to ask.
Yeah.
But
Oh
even
my
the
God.
things we don't really think about, like even the conversation, I don't know if it was with you or if it was something I watched that you did,
Uh-huh.
but even tires.
That was me.
That was okay. I'm not going
Yeah.
crazy here, but the
No.
things you don't even think about. That's why I
Mhm.
asked right out the gate before we even go into certain things, because it's like the things out there that are actually polluting the water that we don't even give two 2 seconds to.
Mhm.
And that was like very eye-opening for me. I didn't even think about that because it how would that affect, and then that conversation happened and I'm like, we really need to start understanding the power water has and what it's actually doing for us.
Mhm.
Or the toxins, like how are they stopping our internal progress?
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's why I love these, and that's why we're here to educate.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't
And
know about the tires either. And um that's the beauty of learning from each other. You know, they recycled tires by using them in children's playgrounds and for mulch now. And that's nothing but like what petroleum-based chemicals. And when kids are out there playing, sometimes barefoot and walking on that, like our skin absorbs all of that. So our kids are actually getting petroleum-based chemicals right up through their feet, and we don't realize it. And I think the other night I was talking about even our dogs, like on my animal page, they're out there. We're spraying chemicals, glyphosates and things like that on our yards so that we have beautiful green grass and we don't have any weeds. Um, on top of the environmental toxins, the aluminum, the barium, all of that's landing in our yards. However, our poor pups are out there barefooted, barefooted, bare pawed, all over. And then, oh my gosh, if you live in a busy area like me, then you have like parks and you have other people's yards that you walk by and you have other dogs that have eliminated in the grass. And then you have all the toxins that they have in their body. And God forbid your dog walks through that. And they're just everywhere. And I know we can't be like, oh my God, we have to just wear boots all the time. We just can't do anything. But just becoming aware of where we're picking up toxins. And it's not even so much that what I've been learning lately on the genetics is that, not all toxins affect us depending on your genetics. So what really got me was I've been hearing a lot of my friends are being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And I'm thinking, wow, like Parkinson's, like I wonder, and I made a joke like, oh, I wonder what's in the water. Well, it wasn't even a joke. What I had come to find was there is a specific genetic predisposition that, I mean, we have or we don't have. Just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to get Parkinson's disease. However, there are certain things that turn those genes on, like anything like breast cancer, dementia. Um, there's even predispositions to addiction and things like that. Um, it's quite amazing. And overall, stress is the one that triggers most of it. However, for Parkinson's disease, it's the it's the pesticide paraquat, and it's sprayed on our food for pest control. And don't quote me on the exact amount, but there is like pounds of this sprayed on crops for like every square foot. It's unbelievable. And when that's taken to market and it's washed in tap water, tap water doesn't emulsify these petroleum-based chemicals like glyphosate or paraquat, or is it atrazine? I believe it is. Water doesn't break those up or emulsify it. However, the water on my ionizer does. But if you don't have an ionizer, most people will use other chemicals to wash, to try to emulsify those other chemicals off of their food. And some of these chemicals, when you do that, they go into the food. They don't even wash off, they go into the food. So it's quite amazing that then you develop Parkinson's. Ta-da! And I mean, unfortunately, like these toxins are stored in our fat and in they're either fat soluble or water soluble. And when they're stored in the fat, and fat, I don't mean fat like we're obese or anything like that, but we have fat even if we don't like look fat or anything like that. But we have fat that we need in our brains. Like our brains are, it's necessary that we need fat in our brain to remain, sharp, smart, not have depression, things like that, especially dementia. Like fat is necessary. However, when it's full of like heavy metals and these toxins, it could trigger those genes. Now, me, for example, I have the genetic predisposition for dementia. How freaking scary is that? My dad just passed of dementia. And I have not detoxified myself my whole life. I'm just learning about this now. And if the average symptoms take about 35 years to develop, I mean, can you imagine having dementia and knowing that maybe 35 years ago that I could have done something different? Like, we can't go think about that. But it's like knowing what we know now, we can become very aware of what we're eating, how we're washing it, the water that we're drinking and bathing in, especially. It's not all about drinking it, we're bathing in it too. You can come off mute and talk. Yeah. I feel like
And it's
blah.
and it's the experiences also that shape us to learn the
Mhm.
things that we need to learn that send you on your journey.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for that experience Jill had, she really wouldn't have done the research to find the answers for the things. So, again, we are here to show you and educate on the importance of your water and how it actually nourishes and does all the things for your body and keeps it in optimal health. And this is going to show you exactly where your water sits,
Yeah.
which when I ran this on my water, it was very, very eye opening. And, this, like Jill says, the studies that are coming out with the people and the disease, and we wonder why. Once you see this, you will know why, why this is happening.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, I just ugh, my the water stream page is actually kind of turning into this toxin page because here I love to cover the water, but when you realize that it's in your clothes that are right laying on your skin, it's in, walking barefoot over carpeting. Carpeting is made with pesticides, flame retardant chemicals, like we absorb them when we wear them and sweat or what have you. Um, I live in Louisiana, Missouri, so this is my current water utility facility. And right now we serve about 3,364 people. It's surface water. Oh, the data was updated through 2023. That's pretty amazing. So just because it's a legal limit doesn't mean that it's safe. It doesn't. And it looks like over here I've got 9 contaminants that exceed the health guidelines. Mind you, and there's no legal limit to anything. Like they can do what they want. Um,
I just
and
want to point
oh
sorry,
yeah,
I
go
just want
ahead.
to point
No,
something
no.
out too, and I believe you said this, but
Uh-huh.
let's go to the right side where legal does not equal necessarily equals safe.
Uh-huh.
These limits have not been updated in the last 20 years. So
Hmm.
this, so just imagine.
It's just, I always say, I want to be in charge of my own health. I don't want someone else to tell me, I only have a choice of what I drink. And, having a filtration system, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to educate. Like when you want choice freedom in your life, you get to choose what kind of water you drink. You get to choose what kind of air you breathe. So, and making people more aware of this is crucial in my opinion. But so I have 15 total contaminants, and that is just out of what they test. I think there's 80,000 chemicals right now out there in the world. So 15 total contaminants, 9 that exceed that. And when we look at this, like these are 161 times over the guideline, over the guideline of what they claim is safety. And as here, no legal limit. There's no legal limit. So oh my gosh. And these trihalomethanes, I just learned of these no, 2 days ago. These are so powerful that when you take a shower, you can see the sun going down. It's getting dark now. Sorry, guys. When you take a shower, these turn into a gas in your shower. So only are you bathing in them, they become gas and they go inside to your lungs while you are showering. So you're getting a double dosage of these chemicals. And don't quote me on all of these. When you click on them, it says my utility is 61.1 parts per billion. Sorry. EWG health guideline is 0.15 parts per gallon or less is considered safe. My utility, thank you. You can curse here. I'm okay with that. I'm a curse hound here too. So here we're, oh God, and they're stating that the legal limit is 80 parts per billion. Oh my God, my stomach just sank. On a national average, it's 29.1 parts per billion, and on a state average for Missouri is 20.7. Can we just sit here with this for a moment? Remember this one, because when I go in, if you're hopping on and you'd like me to pull up your zip code, it can be fun. It doesn't have to be horrible. But so I am 408 times over. Oh my gosh, this really makes me. And although I'm going to find out more about what exactly the chemical does. We know it causes cancer because it's a contaminant. However, I want to know more specifically why this chemical. Filtering options, you can do activated carbon or reverse osmosis. So activated carbon doesn't remove all of that. It helps with the taste and the odor of your water, but it doesn't remove all of that. And reverse osmosis it removes everything from your water, including all of the good stuff, your minerals. And then you have to put chemicals back in the water with the fake mineral. So there are other options to filtering this product. This is absolutely sickening. 408 times. So let's look at this 358 hallosutic acids. My mom always said if you can't pronounce it, it's probably not good for you. And look at these. All of these are potential effect of cancer, which when you start looking at things, it's like, what doesn't cause cancer, you know? So let's look at this. Okay, these are formed when disinfectants such as chlorine are added to tap water. Now, chlorine is used for everything. Chlorine and chloramine is added to at our point of the municipality to keep bacteria from forming in the pipes leading to your home. So those pipes are, I wish I had a picture to pull up of those. They're pretty horrific. However, if you know anything about chlorine, it was used, oh, there you go. It was used back in the day as a, oh my gosh, I might have this, I might say this wrong. It was used as a mass weapon of destruction to kill people. Like it was used in wars and things. So that's why they use it in our pipes to try to keep all this, everything halfway clean. But if you look in an old pipe, it's far from clean. It's far, far from clean. And
And
if
if you
you,
just research this,
mhm,
this it's drowsiness, metabolic changes,
thank you. Oh my gosh.
decreased fasting, glucose and cholesterol, mild toxic effects to the nervous system. If
Mhm.
long-term exposure to it causes liver and kidney problems. So we're
It's pretty significant. So let's look at EWG's health guideline. 0.1 part per billion or less is considered okay. My particular utility is 35.8 parts per billion. On the national average, it's 19.8. That's that's quite a risk. Thank you for looking up that information. My words aren't working today.
well, it just gives you a better understanding of what we're really looking at. Like if I was just looking at this, I would have been like, okay, that's a lot. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what are the words really? Can you lead yourself to, Google, like what is this stuff and how bad is this really for me? So you can take appropriate action
Mm-hmm.
or no action. Like sometimes it's not a priority until it's a priority.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's look at your utility.
Yeah, I would love that.
What's your zip code?
85225
Eight, five, two, two, five. Chandler, Arizona.
in the house.
Yay. And your utility serves 2,400 or 2,247,328 people. Looks like it might serve these other, oh, that's additional. Yeah. So you're at 247,328 people with this water. And again, remember, there is no new water. This is all recycled water. It goes into the air, it evaporates, and it rains and it storms and it just keeps going. So imagine everything that we're dumping down our toilet, in our sink, in our garbage disposal, we're throwing away. We dump into our rivers and our lakes, like all the runoff of the pesticides in the farmland, even in the cities, the pollution from the cars. We have, what is it in California? When it rains, people freak out because when it rains, it's almost like driving on ice because of all the petroleum products from the cars on the, you can say that out loud.
That is so messed up. I used a different
Yeah.
word, but it's so messed up.
Oh my gosh. But we don't think about that. Okay. And your data is up to date through 2024. I like that. So you've got 8 contaminants exceed EWG's health guidelines out of 34 total contaminants. Oh my, Look at your
into Arizona's
arsenic.
water.
Look at your arsenic. Oh my God.
We're living it
I
up out
didn't.
here. Sorry.
Oh, no, no. Look up arsenic, like
And
specifically. I know it's horrible, but now arsenic is a potent carcinogenic and common contaminant in drinking water. Causes thousands of cases of cancer each year. Well, everything does. So let's look at specifics. In her utility, now Arizona, like that's supposed to be clean and pristine and all of that good stuff. It was 1,300 times above EWG's health guideline. 0.004 parts per billion or less is what they're claiming is safe. Like zero point 0.4 is huge compared to 0.004. Her utility is 5.2 parts per billion at this moment. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think my heart skipped a beat. Now let's
it's
see.
funny because
Oh,
the first thing is ingesting high levels of arsenic can result in death.
yes.
Low levels can cause nausea, vomiting, decreased production of red and white blood cells, abnormal heart rhythm, damage to blood vessels, and a sensation of pins and needles in the hands and feet. It is a toxic heavy metal. Uh, yeah,
And you know what? Pins and needles, like a lot of people have neuropathy at this age. Let me turn on a light really quick. It's
yeah.
getting dark. Oh, okay. That's a little better. But if people are having neuropathy, they may be thinking they have neuropathy, and it may be what they're drinking in their water, what they've got in their water. And adding any sort of pharmaceuticals that are in the water. Oh my goodness. So let's look at your halo acetic acids is 596 times above the EWG's health guideline. 0.06 parts per billion. Your utility is at 35.8 parts per billion. Oh my gosh. And you know, I do want to say this to all of our municipalities. I'm not here to like bash them or say how horrible, they are. If they literally filtered all of this out, none of us would be able to afford water, period. It is totally up to us to create and drink and bathe in the water that we choose. Seriously. I'm not blaming them. Just educating. Oh my goodness.
Just educating. And for this one, it's kind of the same as the last, not the arsenic, but the one prior that I read to this. But
Yeah.
this, when above the maximum contaminant level, which we obviously are,
Yeah.
can also cause injury to brain, nerves, liver, kidneys, eyes, and the reproductive system.
Ugh.
So it is very detrimental to our health.
One of my friends that I work with, he knows a gentleman that him and his wife were pregnant. Pregnancy went great, no problems. When they had their little boy, his hand was like severely deformed, and they're like, how did this happen, So he was so like stumped on how this could have happened, this deformity. And they actually traced it back to when his wife had gone in for a regular routine dental cleaning and she was exposed to mercury through that cleaning. And it resulted in her son having a very deformed hand. I mean, it may not have been like horribly bad, but they were like really puzzled as to like how did all this happen? You go through a whole pregnancy and we had no idea. So, yeah, isn't that crazy?
Things that cause things that we're just not aware of. But
Mm-hmm.
when you know, you can't unknow. You can't go backwards.
Oh my God. This arsenic, I'm sorry, that just threw me off my feet there.
It
Threw me off my feet.
knocked me off. Yeah, yeah. I remember the first time I ever went to this website and looked it up and I seen that and I'm like, what the heck? Yep. Let's just say I made the decision probably a few minutes later.
It's like, oh my goodness. And if you don't have a filter like on each tap or each shower, I didn't realize that when I moved here, I have an ionizer in my kitchen, which I love. It filters all that out. Have one in my shower, but I didn't have one on my tap. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've been brushing my teeth, I've been washing my face, I've been doing all of this. It's like I didn't even have anything. So I did find a filter for my tap and it's amazing. Like my skin started clearing up and looking a lot better than it did. I had no idea. So,
Skin irritations, rashes. I mean, it could literally be from your water, from the things
mhm,
in your water.
yeah. Now, does your water have an odor or a funky taste at all? Because just because they have these in there doesn't mean that the water even tastes bad.
No,
Mm.
I can honestly say I probably haven't drank like unfiltered, yeah, for a while. But there's no odor, there's no nothing. But I do know from moving from Colorado to Arizona, there's a huge difference there. Didn't really realize how amazing Colorado's water was. And then we moved here, and then it was hard water,
Uh-huh.
which is completely different, and my body absolutely hates
Oh my gosh,
because I
yes.
was never in a hard water state until we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say it was a lot of adjusting and trying to figure some things out. And we have now found solutions.
And
Because I mean, when we first, it was dry, we were itchy, like all the things.
now did you get a water softener by chance?
No,
No.
mm-mm,
Okay.
no.
I know a lot of people get a water softener because of that hard water, thinking that it's a filter,
Yeah.
but
So we
it's
want to do the thing. Like we want to make sure everything is in place. Um, and finding the actual options that are out there, healthy
yeah.
options that are out there.
Trying to find another zip code.
Six, we can do my parents.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. It's in another state. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
61319.
Yay, 61319. I love doing zip codes. Cornell, Illinois. And they're
And
serving 500 people.
nowhere land.
I love that. Source is groundwater, which is different than surface water. That's interesting.
Oh,
Well, it's amazing because, like, for us, our water comes from, it's called Mark Twain Lake up north from us. And I didn't realize that that's where our water was coming from. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, this too, like my municipality, the water treatment center actually empties right in the Mississippi River by my house. You can see the water that goes right into the river. Like
hmm.
I'll have to go over that. Oh,
We
Makes me
would
sick.
love to
Okay.
see a video of that.
I think I'm gonna make one tomorrow, maybe. So here they've got 9 contaminants that exceed the EWG's health guidelines, and out of 18 total contaminants that they tested. Okay. What was your arsenic? What would like 1300?
Times, yep. That's what
Oh
it
my,
said. Mm-hmm.
holy, holy, holy. Wow. Like the trihalomethanes, like mine was 408. Yours was pretty high too. Theirs is only 30. I say only 34 times the health guideline limit. Like, seriously, arsenic is the worst at 186, but your parents have better water than either of us.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Well, that's good to know though. But it's funny,
still
like on
not the
this,
greatest.
no, no, no. Potential effect, they all say cancer. Like, is there anything else? Can you look up dibromoacetic acid? I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce these things. These are so interesting.
It's a chemical found in drinking water and is used in research.
Oh,
Hold on.
that's scary.
It is a byproduct of water disinfection when chlorine or other disinfectants are used.
Okay, so it's gonna be the byproduct. Okay. I
Um,
didn't know if there was more to that. Oof.
yes, just bear with me while I shuffle through some things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Ooh.
they are used in pharmaceuticals,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't. This produces neuromuscular toxicity,
Oh,
limb
lovely.
weakness, uh, mild abnormities, some words I can't pronounce, depression, decreased responses to a tail pinch and click,
Hmm.
toxicity, decreased activity, chest collapsing.
Oh my goodness. We'll have to do some deep dives on these. That's
We should.
incredible. Because a lot of them are endocrine disruptors, which are hormone disruptors. And you wonder why,
We have so many
girls are
problems
going,
popping up.
huh? What'd you say?
I said we have so many problems popping up. We wonder, like, why?
Well, we wonder why, I'm just gonna say it, like girls are going through puberty way, way young, and boys are now having man boobs like very, very young because their hormones are completely disrupted by the chemicals. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we should maybe go deep dive on some of these. That'll be fun. I say fun, don't let it be stressful because knowledge is power.
Right. And it gets to be fun. Like, holy
Hmm.
crap, I didn't know any of this. Now what?
Hmm.
Like
It's like,
that's really it. Like,
yeah.
don't go and beat yourself up. Don't do the things that, we normal humans do. Like, oh my
Right.
God. No, it gets to be fun. Now you're aware, now you're educated, now you know.
Hmm.
Now what's your next step? How are you going to clean your water up? And we would love for you to send us a message if that's the case, because we can help with that. We've
Hmm.
done the rabbit holes of water. We've done the research. We've done all the things around it. so we can better serve why we do these classes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, it goes, you know, I'll be talking more about just the toxins outside of the water. The water is just, we didn't even talk about fluoride. And when I talk to people about, well, I just need the fluoride out of my water, I'm at the point now, like, fluoride's not even a problem anymore. Like, do you know what these other chemicals do? Like, we've got hormone disruptors, endocrine disruptors, we've got neurotoxins. Chlorine alone is a neurotoxin. That means it affects your nerves, your nervous system. Like, and I think nervous system regulation is huge for so many people. We are so dysregulated. We're on anti-anxiety medications. Not myself, but I mean, I have been in the past. And it's like, we've been dehydrated. We create all these symptoms of dehydration that are actually symptoms of other major problems, and they're misdiagnosed as problems. I'm going to leave it right there.
Exactly. That's a good, that's
Ah,
good. Hi, Jeannie. I
so,
just wanted to shout you out. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
oh, hey. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Any zip code you want us to do over there in Ocala? Ocala. I don't know if she's still on. Anywho, this is interesting. So, yeah, I didn't want to stay on too long. I just wanted to hop on, and we wanted to bring you some fun with the EWG tap water database. And if you would like to watch this on a replay and look up your own, it's ewg.org/tapwater, and go through and look at what's in your municipal water. If you're on a well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I put the website um,
In the comments.
in the comments. I just
Awesome.
didn't slash the tap water.
It's okay. No, it's totally okay. If you're on a well, you still have this stuff in your water. It just may not be as bad, or it may be more so bacteria and cysts. Go ahead.
Do you want to do Jeannie's zip code?
Is she in there?
Yep.
Oh, sure. Hang on a
Are you
minute.
ready?
Yes.
All right. 34481.
And she is in, hi, baby, Ocala, Florida. Florida. Serving 12,901 people. Sources groundwater. Updated through 2024. That's amazing. 8 exceeded. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Woohoo.
Shame on Arizona. Shame on us.
I know. I thought your water would be so much better. Baby. Arsenic is 38 times for arsenic. So her utility is 0.15 parts per billion. Now, I know they have a high iron count in their water. That's pretty crazy. Arsenic. And then these haloacetic acids. I think I'm getting it. 54 times. And then the total trihalomethanes. Like, mine is off the charts. Holy cow. That is crazy. But we are a byproduct of everything that we use. Oh my goodness. And the good news is, if you're in the group, or if you're on the page, or even visit the website, we have some very good filtration systems. Um, and mind you, I've been through quite a few, looking through certifications and things like that. I only put on there what I back 150%. And so, yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just or want an opinion or anything, drop it in here, And one of us will let you know how we can filter all this out for you. It's amazing. Without breaking the bank. Let me put that in there. I don't even think we should have to pay for filtration, but we do. We do. Anyway. Did Jeannie, do you have any questions about anything else in your zip code? Toot toot. Uranium. There's uranium.
I guess I have to be unmuted for you to hear me, huh?
Yeah, it helps.
She says her water is pretty heavy with arsenic and they have horrible water.
Yes, yes. We have some solutions for that because hard water, if you have a softener, it's just going to pull all your calcium out and then dump a bunch of sodium in. So you're kind of like, and what I don't like is all that sodium that you put in your water softener goes back into the wastewater. And I love there's some filters that we currently are partnered with that all of these contaminants that go into the filters, they stay in the filters. They don't break out of the filters and go back into the wastewater. That's what I love. So, holy balls. Or excuse me. So sorry.
No, no, that's what we do on these.
It's been a very long day, so my apologies for my comment there. So I'm going to stop sharing here and
Just leaning into your most authentic self.
isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh. So I hope this has been a little bit of education on the tap water database. I hope that you take this to heart. Look up your own, look up your family and friends and see what's in their water because we can affect our health with just the water that we change. Definitely. So,
And when you do that, drop your results in the comment section, and then we can have a conversation around that. And then we can go deeper and deeper into all the things that we found in our water.
oh my gosh, we should have let's have a contest of who has the highest like certain chemicals and let's just see who has
Winning.
Oh gosh, I hope you're not winning, but oh my goodness. Let's do that. Let's compare. Let's compare the contaminants.
Again, it can be fun if we allow it to be fun, but
Hmm.
it's also very serious as well.
It
So
is. It
there's
is.
there's definitely a balance there.
Mhm.
And let's start the community. Let's do water. Because
Water
again, we
toxins.
worry about the food we put in us and how healthy that needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, we're not 70 something percent food. We're
Right.
70+% water. So the
Mm-hmm.
water we're feeding us is what we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are a byproduct of everything.
We are.
Woo. So, anything else as we close out tonight's session?
I don't think so. I think this was amazing and beautiful, and we can't wait to see what's in your water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I look forward to it. I look forward to it. So, with that, if you're stopping by and you watch the replay, just type in hashtag replay. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, see you next Tuesday.